right, welcome to Ethical Marketing Q&A session. It's Monday, happy Memorial Day, recognizing all our veterans. And, for me, always like Memorial Day always hit home, but it's even more after my niece joined the army and seeing her go through boot camp and everything. It's just, yeah, it hits a chord. So want to acknowledge that. So today's going to be Q&A session. So as you come in, you can go ahead and ask your questions and I'll get to them. So first I wanted to start with my own stuff because I always like, oh, it's so easy, right? For one to be like, okay, how can I ask, how can I answer you? How can I help you? And not be vulnerable about your own stuff. So vulnerable, not horrible. Um, I have the captions on. So I'm going to start with here on my phone. I have some of the questions that I got over the month, some of the lessons I wanted to share with you. And I'm going to start with my Instagram insights just because I think it's so important to actually look at that. So I look at it at the end of the month. But as we're getting near, I thought it would be fun to look at it as I'm getting near for last month, what happened and what's going on with my account. So last month, so actually it's for this month up to today. So I've had 54 unfollows, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And I've also had 45 new followers. Okay. And this month of May has been my highest month of views in the past 3 months. So let's talk about that a little bit. So on Instagram, something fun to know is that I have been posting more of my values, ethical marketing, which is like exploitive practices. Some people like that, some people don't. I've gotten on follows for that. I've gotten follows for my views. People get mad when I post like even like Memorial Day, acknowledging that. That's very important to me. So I do that. So, and I did a podcast episode, if you want to listen to it, just about like the importance of being ethical marketing, what it means, right? And expressing your values. But also I've been attracting brides and I've been very busy. So I feel very grateful for that too. So with that, don't get discouraged if you are, like losing followers on your Instagram or, like you feel like you're not growing as much. Mine has been fluctuating up and down. It has a lot with the things that I'm sharing, and that's okay. I'm totally okay with that. So just wanted to share that. So now let's go into Q&A. So this is some of the questions that I got. So I wanted to go into this. So first, measuring hair extensions for short hair. So this question happened because somebody wanted to order hair extensions. They're like, how long should it be? My hair's up to here. And they wanted to get like 18 inches. And so I was helping them to measure them and tell them what size to actually use. So I think it's so important that to remember as as a business owner or a professional that you know more than you think you know, and you know more than the average person. So help them, make your content helpful and use that to help others, right? So I went ahead and helped them that. Another question I got is why do I put extensions on backwards? Sometimes I do it for comfort. So depending on the hairstyle I'm doing, I'll put them on backwards. So that's something that I do. And other thing was about the olive oil class. So that was a really fun class, but I want to like say I'm really freaking weird. I will do shit like that. Like I will go to like random things and learn things. I love to learn like what I'm eating, what I'm consuming. So that was a lot of fun and that was free. And it was, a random thing with myself. A lot of people wanted to go to it. So next time I'll start sharing now that I know people are interested in random things like me, and educational things like me, especially when it's free and fun. So I'll go ahead and start sharing more about that with everybody else. So that's a takeaway that I learned from my DMs and also from my social media. And that's something that you can take away as well. Another question I got is like, what is Green Business Certified? And it's pretty much like my way of following protocol that when I replace something in my salon or when I'm buying things that I'm going to take into consideration doing green business practices, something that's eco-friendly, recyclable. So for example, one of my brides has to mail me back my hair extensions that I rented to her. So I gave her an eco-friendly packaging. So usually instead of getting like the plastic bubble wrapped stuff, I got like a recyclable brown bag that is eco-friendly and will protect my extensions and will get them back to me. But it's cost a little bit more. Okay, so usually like my bag, like the plastic one that I get them to mail back, it costs me like 10 cents. This one costs me $1.24. So those are the practices that I mean. And when you're green business practices, it's just that it may cost a little bit more, but it's better for the environment. And the really fun part with me that I wanted to share with you is that my business is already pretty eco-friendly. So I have a mobile salon, the camper, she's from the 60s, and she was recycled. So, that helped. So that's something just to consider about things. And it was really easy process, and it's not just to my town. If you live anywhere in Sonoma County or in California, you can be green business certified. They support you. I had an amazing support system and other business owners that I got to meet locally. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I know a couple of you signed up for live Q&A. So how live Q&A works is that I start at 9. I'm going to start with a little overview of my own stuff, and then I go right into Q&A. So I don't see anybody here right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go a little bit into what I'm experiencing in regards to marketing. We're gonna tap a little bit to ethical marketing, and I'm gonna end this recording. But next time, make sure that you're here live. You should be within the first 5 minutes, and I can answer your question. So something that I've been noticing with marketing, and let me know, okay? Like this is a space for all of us. It's taking a little bit longer to get signed contracts. So I am getting signed contracts. I'm getting at least 2 to 5 a month. And it is taking them a little bit longer. I'm noticing with my clients, with brides. When it comes to other like immediate services, those are fast. Those are like, hey, I want to get in within a week, you know, or within 2 weeks. And something that I've really noticed is that it is taking a lot more consistency. So if you're like, okay, Celeste, I hate freaking posting, I understand. Just look where your clients are coming from. I've talked about this before. Not all my clients come from social media. Social media is like number 3 in my list. Okay. So that's why I don't focus on it, but doesn't mean you shouldn't focus on it. If 90% of your clientele is coming from social media, you should focus more on social media than I am, right? And that's why I always tell you, like, don't go into comparison, look at your numbers. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is that for bigger ticketed items, I'm talking over $1,000, like brides or like those type of services, or if you have a product service based business that's like kind of more higher end, clients are taking a little bit longer. So I've noticed that my closing rate, and still there's still some that will sign the same day, but it's taking about 6 days now. So it's taking almost like a week now for them to get from the inquiry to the signed contract. So that's really important. And lastly, with ethical marketing, I did want to like share this too. When you share your values, some of your clients or potential clients will be repelled by that. I talked about that in the last episode I did this week. And it's so important. I want to be real about that with you because there's people that I understand don't have the luxury of doing such things, right? Like maybe you have a family to feed, you have obligations, a mortgage. I get it, I have a mortgage too. But like you don't have as much leeway or stretch way to be able to share your values like that. So then don't. And ethical marketing, I know is not for everybody, and I'm not here to judge anybody or tell people what's right or what's wrong. It's really more about sharing my experience. So I just really wanted to go ahead and share that with you. So don't feel guilty about it, but there are consequences for sharing your values. Okay, I'm going to be 100% about that. And it's happened to me, and that's okay. Like I've said, like I'm good with that. Like I know who's in alignment with me and what type of clients I can serve. And there's clients for everybody, right? So what's not a good fit for me would be an amazing fit for somebody else. And living in that abundant mindset is really going to help you. Lastly, let's acknowledge this stuff going on. And I wanted to end before I end with the ethical marketing part. Things, no matter where you live at, we're not talking politics, okay? No matter where you live at, shit's more expensive, okay? I looked at my monthly grocery bill and it doubled. It's insane, okay? So I'm paying twice what I was last month in groceries because things have gone significantly up. So I just want you to keep your pulse on that. Okay, so maybe it's not right now, it's not the time to raise your rates. I had just raised my rates. So I'm good. I did all my math and everything. But if the math is not mathing, I want you to look at your numbers of what's the cost to produce your service or your product, okay? Because things have gone up. For me, I don't need to do a raise. I'm good. Even with the gas prices, even with the increase in cost, because I've noticed like even one of my products that I love to use, it's a leave-in. It was $12 and then it went up to 26. And I was like, but I love it. So I'm still going to pay for that, and that's my professional discount price. So I'm just sharing that with you because I think it's so important that you look at your cost to produce your service or produce your product to make sure that the math is mathing and you're not, like taking money out of, your own pocket by not having the right pricing strategy. So make sure that you look at that. Other thing that I've noticed too is insurance. So I live in California, but like one of our for my other business, like workers' comp insurance went up. So if you have employees, that the department that was like California in general, Department of Insurance, like it all went up for everybody, workers' comp. So our workers' comp went up like almost $2,000 a year. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's so important right now that you look at your business to make sure the service or the product that you're selling, that the math is mathing and that you are not taking money out of your pocket because yeah, things have gone up. So, and I think that's a beautiful example because one business we did have to do a little bit increase. My business, my bridal hairstyling business, we didn't. And they're in different realms. And I think a lot of people don't know that I co-own another business that has nothing to do with hair or beauty. But I just wanted to share that with you because sometimes we'll see like posts like, raise your prices or, everything's expensive or whatever, like don't feed into people's money stories. Look at your numbers and make decisions based off your numbers. Okay. And now let's go into like the ethical marketing and we'll end with that. So in regards to ethical marketing, it's about being non-exploitive. Okay. And what that means is that if like right now, right? If you have openings, like talk about it, right? But you're not gonna like I'm not gonna lie. Let's say for example, like I have 5 openings on Saturday, which is not true. Two events on Saturday. But anyways, let's say like I have 5 openings on Saturday, and I'm like, okay, I have a last minute opening. I only have one spot. Make sure you grab it. Okay, that would not be ethical, right? Because I'm lying. I really have 5 openings and I'm going on social media or going on my platform of choice where I get my clients and saying, oh yeah, excuse me. Oh yeah, like I only have one spot when I really have 5. So I can book that or I can get scarcity to force people to be like, oh my gosh, she's so booked. I have to get it, I have to get it, right? Excuse me. So I want to share that because that's what I mean. But if you really truly only have one spot, if I really only had one spot that I had to fill in on Saturday, and I know right now there's graduations or parties going on, and they're like, hey, I only have one spot available on Saturday at X time. If you want it, make sure that you grab it. That's not exploitive. That is being ethical marketing. So you see what I mean? And that's why I want you to start thinking about ethical marketing is the intention behind it. Are you being honest, truthful, ethical, or are you lying about it, right? Are you trying to do false scarcity? Are you trying to, like make people feel a certain way when it's not true? So I just wanted to share that because and clarify that. And also, this is not for everybody, and I totally understand. I started doing this back in, like 2018. I left from working for somebody and I didn't want to work full time and I didn't want to do what everybody was doing. And I've always been weird like this. And for me, it's always about being ethical. What you do unto others comes back onto you. How I want people to treat me, I should treat them the same way. So that's just how I live my life. So it makes sense that my business reflects that. So I just wanted to give you a little more insight on that. And with that, I think that is it for today. So please make sure that we're going to have our next monthly coaching call is going to be in June. And let me look at the calendar. It's going to be on June 29th. Okay, so June 29th, it's a Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to have our next monthly Q&A call. These are free calls. I do this because part of being ethical is being inclusive and understanding that accessibility is very important. There's people that literally right now don't have $10 or an extra $25 to book a call, or $75 to book a one-on-one call. I totally understand that. That's why I do this free monthly Q&A calls, and I hope to see you back here next month. I'll put the link below, and thank you so much, and I hope you got something amazing out of this. See you next time. Bye.